Hello, hello, hello! Üdvözlök mindenkit, aki itt van, vagy esetleg aki itt lesz, vagy aki majd visszanézi ezt a videót a YouTube-on, vagy itt a Twitch-en. A helyzet az, hogy az Noire-t fogjuk folytatni, mint ahogy láthatjátok. Viszont ha ezzel végeztünk, majd a következő játékot egy teljesen más időpontban fogom elkezdeni, kipróbálom azt az időpontot is, és igazából a stream is hosszabb lesz majd, de ezt majd pontosan le lesz írva a közvetítésekhez, hogy pontosan hány órakor lesz, majd ezt úgyis mindenki meglátja, akit érdekel. Hamarosan az Noire végéhez érünk amúgy, még nem, de hogy már nem sok van hátra játékból. Valamit még akartam mondani, de majd eszembe jut. Folytassuk.
Keep a hold of your hat, Counselor. Now is not the time to lose your nerve. It would appear that someone has hocked a rose gold wedding ring and matching engagement ring. Sound familiar?
Deirdre Muller.
Press the pawnbroker and see what you can find out. The address is 348 South Main Street. The Muller case goes before the grand jury next week, and the DA does not want any egg on his face. Then get out to the railroad depot on Santa Fe Avenue. We have another poor unfortunate found this morning beside a railroad line. 40-year-old white woman.
Right, Skipper.
I don't care.
Azért néha ilyen összeszedetlen a beszédem, mert nyilván közben olvasom én is a játékot, és egy kicsit bele zavarodok mondandómba.
The Emperor may soon have to come to terms with the fact that he's wearing no clothes.
De hát majd
Exactly. Did you get that book of riddles shoved up
csiszolok
your ass?
ezen is.
Is that what your old man paid college tuition for?
One little twist. She was 13 if she was a day.
Hatalmas mondom, hatalmas tesztelésekben leszek majd az elkövetkezendő időszakban, illetve nyilván a téli hónapokban is, hiszen rengeteg játék van, amit ki kell majd játszanom, mert érdekel, meg le szeretném streamelni. Rengeteg van már benne a könyvtáramban is, már nagyon-nagyon régóta megvettem őket, illetve csomó érkezik. Először ide menjünk. Csomó játék fog megjelenni ebben a hónapban és jövő hónapban is. Szóval van egy ilyen hosszú listám, hogy miket fogunk majd játszani a későbbiekben.
You've got to admit, this is looking odd.
Anyone could pawn a ring.
But if you take it along with all of the other indicators...
Cole, Hugo Moeller was identified by the school's groundkeeper. He's our guy.
Witnesses have fingered the wrong guy before.
He ran, for God's sakes.
And he always maintained he was set up.
Szevasz!
Help you boys.
Detectives Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. You have a rose gold wedding and engagement ring?
David Bremner. Am I gonna get something for this pledge? Gave that bum money, now you guys are gonna leave me short.
How much did you give him?
$50?
Try another number.
20?
Try 10. Feel lucky you're getting it.
I have the rings right here.
What's this mark here?
Maker's mark. Usually traceable. That one came from Hartfield's Jewelry down on Broadway.
Thanks for the tip. Does this mark mean anything?
Hallmark. Gives you an idea of the quality.
22 karátos akar lenni ez?
What have you got on the guy who brought these in?
Goes by the name of Percy B. Shelley. Gave an address. 15 Poland Street, London, Tulare County.
Can you give us a description of the man who pawned these rings?
Not sure. Medium height, medium build, dark hair, I think. Sorry. He just had one of those forgettable faces.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Bremner.
Na, nem vészük el a gyűrűket? Nem. Körülnézünk még itt, bár nem hiszem, hogy sok minden lenne itt, amit megvizsgálhatnánk. Hát nincs. Na jó. Hátra se tudunk menni.
You're behind the wheel.
Menjünk megnézni a holttestet.
We have a problem.
We could have the local troopers check out the Tulare County address.
The address is bogus. Purpose having fun with us. The guy who's been sending the Dahlia letters is also the guy who pawned these rings.
How do you figure that?
Percy Bysshe Shelley wrote the poem that came with the Dahlia letter. The Dahlia letters are genuine, but the man who killed Elizabeth Short may have also killed Deirdre Mullen.
And how do we prove that, Phelps? Skipper ain't gonna like this one bit.
We're gonna have to rely on this guy tripping up on his own vanity.
You boys ready? Follow me.
We should keep this development with the rings under our hat until we speak with the captain.
We're all on the same team, Rusty.
Chain of command, Phelps. The skipper will decide who needs to know. Got it?
I get it, Rusty. I just don't like it. Hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I look after all the rail depots.
What have you got?
The Negro, Nelson Gaines, called it in. I came down here to make sure him and the other guy, Jameson, stuck around.
Jameson found the body?
Something like that. Guy makes me sick.
We'll talk to the coroner. Keep an eye on both of them.
Körülnézünk itt.
Nice day, gentlemen.
Na, nagyíts már rá.
Maybe someone at Mensch's will remember her.
I got this gadget whiz guy putting recording devices in the place for me.
This is a chit for personal items, not booze. It's an angle worth investigating.
Nem lehet megnézni a retikül, de akkor előbb még nem sikerült. Fú, rengeteg nyom van amúgy.
could go over to the lot and see what they know about her.
That's gonna be difficult, Cole. Keystone Studio lot closed back in 41.
Van valami más? Nincs semmi. Csak ezek a szemtanúk.
What have we got here?
White female, approximately 40 years of age, lipstick smudges on the face, but no writing, at least nothing legible. A blunt force trauma to the temple, nose, and eye regions. Ligature marks point to the probable cause of death being strangulation.
Any idea of the time of death?
From her temperature, after midnight would be my guess.
Smell?
Very good. There is the usual evacuation smell, but it appears she's been living rough for quite some time.
Very strong smell of alcohol.
Well, the autopsy will tell, but I would assume that she was inebriated.
Itt nincs semmi. Nincs semmi. Megint egy gyűrű
Another
hiányzik.
missing ring.
Certainly seems I've been swabbing a lot of bare fingers recently.
Can you be more exact about the time of death?
No later than 2 a.m. The state the body was in, a 1 or 2 hour window is the best I can do.
Oké, nincs több dolog. Megkérdezzük ezeket a csókákat.
Detective Phelps and Galloway, homicide. Can you tell me exactly what happened?
We were shutting cars over to the main line when I saw this man here lying on top of this woman. The woman wasn't moving and seemed to be in a bad way.
What time was this?
About 7:30 this morning, sir.
Thanks for your help. Have you given Patrolman Hart your details?
I have, sir.
Thank you. You can go now.
Jó, hát ezzel nem kellett sokat beszélgetnünk végül is.
Detective Phelps, LAPD homicide.
John Ferdinand Jameson.
We need you to answer some questions, John.
If you don't mind, I prefer Ferdinand.
Don't push your luck, knucklehead.
What were you doing to the body, Ferdinand?
Are you sure you won't be upset?
Try me, Ferdinand.
I was kissing her.
Huh.
It's not against the law.
Shut up.
There's no
Take
law
your
against
beating
it.
like a man.
Turn out your pockets, Ferdinand. Classic Carmine. Is this yours, Ferdinand?
No. I found it near her purse. I thought she could use some lipstick.
Rusty, stop! Don't hit him.
Nem úgy néz ki, mint aki fél.
You found the body?
Yes, I did. I work here. I was coming off shift and headed home.
De nem mond igazat.
Why didn't you report the body, Jameson? Do you know how this is going to look to a jury?
A jury? What gives? I could tell that she was dead. I came through here about midnight last night. She wasn't here then.
Let me belt him again.
You went through her purse?
It wasn't like she needed it. I took a look.
Did you take any money?
Wasn't any to take. I found her lipstick and her matchbook over on the mat. Not much else.
You're under arrest, Jameson. We'll see how this plays out. Until then, you can think a little on how you'd like to be treated if you were found dead.
I'm telling you, it's not illegal. Me and some friends of mine.
Clyde, you get this sack of shit into a cell. I'll deal with him later.
Sure, Rusty.
Öcsém, milyen hülye ez a csávó. Azt még elfelejtettük megnézni.
Blood splatter on the carriage. She must have been struck while standing up.
Na? Lent itt nem lehet megnézni.
Morning, ladies.
What are you thinking, Ray?
The city keeps tossing us dead bodies. We're just running to catch up.
Incidental.
Hát mondjuk ez is feleslegesnek
Hasn't
tűnik.
given me anything to go on.
Ja. Muszáj mindent megnézni. Egyszerűen nem bírom kihagyni. Na és itt lesz egy telefon, aztán ezzel szólni kell. Be kellene szólni.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address on Levine's Liquor. Closest store to the Santa Fe Avenue rail yard, if possible.
Just a moment, Detective. Closest store would be the one at 939 South Hope Street.
Thanks, ma'am. You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Először elmegyünk ide.
You read that those goddamn Chinese want to sell the relief food that we're sending them?
Yeah. Yeah, I read about that.
People are starving. They can't do that.
Want to sell the food to fund the civil war against the communists.
Really? Guess that's okay then.
Armies can't fight without food. Spend all your money on weapons, but you still have to have the will to fight. Fortunately, the Reds will win in China.
Watch your mouth. You know what you're saying?
The people of this country overthrew a king. You think the Chinese will balk at an emperor if they are starving?
Drink, fellas.
Phelps, Galloway, homicide. We need to ask you some questions concerning Evelyn Summers.
I'm Walter Mensch. Evelyn Summers? What is it now?
You knew Evelyn?
As well as I wanted to know Evelyn. She's a pain in the ass, always coming in here, cadging drinks, never had any money. She was in just a couple of nights ago.
Did she ever tell you where she was staying?
I don't know. I think she was living rough. She had that kind of stunk about her.
Who did she drink with?
A bunch of these guys. Ask around.
What's your name?
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Mind if I ask you some questions, Mr. McCaffrey?
I'm just a starving writer, Detective. What do you want to ask about?
Evelyn Summers, and why she was found beaten and strangled in the rail depot on Santa Fe.
Okay. I see your point.
How well did you
Ez
know
nem
her?
szimpatikus ez a csávó.
I can't say that I knew her. It was more like I was aware of her.
Do you have a criminal record, Mr. McCaffrey?
Nothing serious. I've had a few skirmishes.
You want to save me some time, or do you want me to look up your file?
Industrial disputes, strikes, workers' rights, that kind of thing.
A regular fifth columnist. Nice to meet you, comrade.
Did you see Evelyn last night?
No,
I was at home, writing.
Ez nem tűnik igaznak. Viszont nem is tudnék rá bizonyítani semmit. Szerintem. Várjunk csak. Nem, sem. Na, szerintem nem.
Do you want to get dragged into this, McCaffrey? Do you want us to get interested in you?
She hung out with this powder puff, James Tiernan. They haunted the public library together.
How well do you know James Tiernan?
I know he works some kind of plebeian job at Rawlings Bowling Alley.
Rawlings. I know that place. Corner of 9th and Grand. A lot of cops bowl there on Tuesday nights.
Thank you for the information, Mr. McCaffrey.
Jó, végül is ezt nem rontottuk el. Körülnézek itt erre hátul is. Szokás szerint. Hát mondjuk valószínűleg itt nincs semmi használható. Menj innen.
You a friend of Evelyn Summers?
Who's asking?
Very cute. You know who's asking.
I know my rights. You don't have any. Answer the question.
Evelyn mooches for drinks. I don't have any time for that.
Was that so hard?
Keep writing me, copper.
Az nem mondott sokat. Gyerünk.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Menjünk akkor sorban. Ja, de itt vagyunk, de hülye vagyok.
You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Szóval akkor menjünk ide.
What did you make of McCaffrey?
There'll come a day. It's coming very soon. We'll run him and the rest of his pinko buddies out of Los Angeles.
I meant as a suspect, Rusty.
What can I do for you?
LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're making inquiries into the murder of Evelyn Summers.
Evelyn? She's dead?
You knew Evelyn Summers, Mr.
Robbins. Yes, I knew Evelyn. I was a good friend of her ex-husband. She kept some of her stuff here.
Can you show us, please?
Sure. Come this way.
Got some fine stock here, Mr. Robbins. Now, you let us take some for the road, this case might get solved a lot quicker.
He's joking, Mr. Robbins.
She kept a bed here, but I probably shouldn't have let her. An alcoholic in a liquor store, that was never going to work out, was it?
We'll take a look around.
Ez itt gondolom a mutterja lehet. Semmi nyom. Na jó.
She wasn't always such a loner. Evelyn was reading Aristotle?
Evelyn wasn't stupid. The only stupid thing about her was her need to drink.
And she was borrowing books from Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Ez volt a csávó a bárból, ugye?
I'm guessing Evelyn hadn't held down a job for quite some time before she was killed. Rollins Bowling Alley. Maybe Evelyn did something other than drink in her spare time.
When exactly did Evelyn work in the pictures?
A few years ago. She worked in legal copyrights for music.
Van ezen más, nem olyan? Hát nincs. Jó, kb. Mindent láttunk. Hova lettek a többiek? Na basszus.
We're trying to account for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit? To pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
Az igaznak tűnik.
Any idea where the money came from?
She didn't mention it. But she did say the booze was a present for a boy. She said they had been fighting and she had to make it up to him.
Were you and Evelyn close, Mr. Robbins?
Not many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
Mondjuk ez is.
I got the
A csávó
impression that Evelyn
őszinte.
had been sleeping rough of late.
It became difficult for me to have her staying here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow. She's old now. And to be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on.
Do you know a friend of Evelyn's by the name of McCaffrey?
Not personally.
Talán ez nem lehet igaz.
We're struggling for leads, Robbins. Did she know McCaffrey?
She idolized him. From what I gather, the feeling was far from mutual. He seems to peddle a revolutionary stance, fixing the ills of society.
Persze, hogy tudtunk róla, hogy nem...
You could see how it would appeal
És
to
hogy
downloads
ismerték
like
egymást.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Robbins.
No problem. Hey, I'd like to make arrangements for the funeral. You think I could get in touch with Evelyn's mother?
Put in a call to the watch commander at Central Station, Mr. Robbins. He'll be trying to reach the next of kin.
Thanks. Get the guy, huh? Evelyn never hurt anybody.
You're behind the wheel.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Még itt körülnézünk, de aztán vissza kell menni a bárba.
Car 11K, Car 11 King, come in. Car 11K, Car 11 King, KGPL.
Ami nagyon fontosat kaptunk, ugyanis most csak én tudok vezetni. Vissza kell mennünk a rendőrkapitányságra. Ó, a zsákutca, basszom. Nem is beszélgetünk, semmi. Mi történt? Nem szól hozzánk a csávóhoz. Na mindegy.
Need a drink.
The captain is downstairs with Ray Pinker and Carruthers.
That's the cop from the newspaper.
Those Vice boys get any on the side? Arthur, Wolverine. I don't know who these were.
What's this about, Captain?
Ray and Mal have some concerns over the Henry and Muller cases, which I don't want aired outside of this room.
The evidence is solid, Captain.
I agree, Rusty. It's just that corpses keep piling up.
Copycats.
I've been banging the same drum. But the notes and the lipstick messages.
Evelyn Summers, Cartel Classic Carmine. Each woman, same brand, same color.
Teresa Terrelson didn't have a lipstick message.
Technically, you're right, Rusty. She didn't have any lipstick, but she did have a message. We found it beneath her dress, scraped with a sharp stick.
What did it say?
You sure you want to know?
Ray?
As far as we can be sure, it said cunt BD.
That's one way of looking at it.
Looking at what?
Cunt is all about access, Phelps. You're married. Yours is mortgaged. Some of us like to pay by installments. This guy doesn't like to pay at all.
Why are you so angry, Mal?
Because I just had to fire one of my assistants. He was a friend of Jameson's. God knows what he might have been up to.
Captain, we have good leads in the Summers case, but it's up to you to decide how we proceed.
Keep this under your hat for now. And follow up on Evelyn Summers. I want daily reports.
Ezek szerint még mindig szabadon van az a csávó, akit azt, azt hittünk, hogy lecsuktuk. Csak egy kicsit máshogy csinálja a gyilkosságokat. Vagy valaki tényleg utánozza és azt csinálja máshogy. Menj már, telefonálj!
So what next?
Na, telefonálni akartam.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address for a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Apartment 6, 126 Yale Street, between Ord and Alpine.
Thanks for your help.
Na gyerünk.
You're a real asshole, you know that? Yeah, I'm thinking of moving up to a 45.
Can you drive to this one?
And where exactly are we going?
Itt is körül akartam nézni. Csak úgy kíváncsiságból muszáj megnéznem a bowling pályát is.
Let me pose a question. Depends. What's it got to do with it? Morals. Would it bother you to put the wrong person away? Depends. On what? On whether anyone except the poor son of a bitch in the slammer ever found out.
Hello, Rusty. Two on your usual lane?
I'm Detective Phelps. Homicide.
You must be new. What's your shoe size?
This is business, Florence.
Mami
You got a
dolgozik.
guy works here by the name of Tiernan?
Sure we do. He's a pin setter. Clears the jams, works the gutters. Go right in. He'll be hopping around the lanes toward the back. He's a nice boy.
Thanks, ma'am. Let's go get him.
Drove me up to Mulholland, and we did some necking.
Te kihez beszélsz?
If you were twice as smart, you'd still be stupid.
Na jó, most jó helyre beszél.
What's the down the left side of the alley?
Minek a bal szélén? Ja, ott lehet?
You want a tip? Refill my coffee faster next time, honey. That cherry pie was a
Nem tudok átmenni. Nem tudok bemenni, de rossz. Na guríts.
What's the latest thing?
Ó. Gondod van?
The early bird gets the worm. The second mouse.
Remélem miattam rontottad el. Ekkora szemétől. Isten!
There!
What are you waiting for? Get after him!
We might go faster if we weren't carrying the extra weight.
Bazd meg, de
Flashy
szar
cars
vagyok.
to be parked outside a bowling alley.
The lanes attract a fast-living individual with money to burn.
Or a middle-aged individual with the need to feel virile.
Another runner. Well, at least we've got a suspect.
Why do they always run? I'm sure we've got the wrong person in more than one of these homicides, but they always seem to lam it.
You know, your theories are not airtight by any means.
Baszki, olvasom a szöveget, azt közben nem figyelek a térképre. Éj, bazzeg.
If this isn't the killer, we can at least get him for reckless endangerment.
That's unless he runs into a wall and saves us all the trouble. He's going through the square.
I hope the people see him in time to get out of the way.
Joyride's over, kid.
What if they run because someone's setting them up? Because they feel like the deck is stacked against them?
Don't make up ridiculous stories for them, detective. Leave that to the first imagination. Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires. Whoa, looks like we're going into the tunnels.
God damn it, he'll kill himself.
It's all right, as long as he doesn't kill us, I'm okay with it. Don't go to sleep on me. That is the end of that. It's about fucking time.
Give it up, LAPD.
De vajon most ki kell hallgatnunk? Vagy pedig meg kell keresnünk megint ezt a McAfee csávót. És nem ezt akartam, nem is ezt akartam. És először őt elkapni. Aha, először őt is be kell gyűjteni.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Ez mondjuk ez a csávó gyanúsabb nekem, aki most elmenekült. Ez a McAfee se egy túl szimpatikus forma. Hatos lakásból aki, ugye? Ha jól tudom. Ja, várjál, 5-6.
Doesn't look like anybody's home.
Hűha, baszki. Na, sikerüljön már. Na végre.
He said he was at home. He said he didn't know her. And we have the book.
Let's see Carruthers argue his way out of this one.
Is that you, Grosvenor? Who are you guys? What are you doing in here?
We're from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I'm his neighbor. Is he in trouble?
Look, lady, we need to find him, and in a hurry. Are you gonna give me trouble?
He has a pigeon coop up on the roof. He spends his mornings up there when he's been drinking.
How do we get up there?
Down the hall and up the stairs.
Drunk and in command of a carrier pigeon. Surely we can write him up for that. A citation at least.
De először meg akarok nézni mindent. Nem akarok felmenni hozzá. Mármint, hogyha van itt egyéb nyom is. Ah, itt van a csajnak a... csajlevelének a másik fele. Aha.
Torn from the letter we found beside the body. At the very least, I'd say it ties McCaffrey to the scene.
Oké. Ez most nagyon úgy néz ki, hogy ez a csávó a gyilkos.
Don't think this is any use to us.
De nem tudunk bemenni. Nincs semmi. Mit is mondott? Le kell menni a földszintre? Vagy mit mondott? Ja, hogy fel. Kösz. Szóval, hogy fel. Igen, jó.
See the cop they've been talking about on the radio? Want another accommodation?
Gond van?
Olive oil comes from olives. Where does baby oil come from?
Grosvenor McCaffrey! Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk.
I'll go get our wheels.
You a runner, McCaffrey? Stay and fight the good fight.
Állj már meg!
LAPD! Don't make me chase you! There he is, officer!
Basz meg.
Can't we talk about this? Can't
Na
we
gyere.
talk about this?
Mennyit bír ez? Na, meg is van.
We need to get downtown and wrap this thing up. It's got to be McCaffrey. Unless Tiernan set him up. You don't think that asshole Jameson could have done it, do you? Whoever did it. At least it wasn't that Dahlia fuck.
How do you know that McCaffrey didn't do the Dahlia?
They have a list of over 200 suspects. His name was never on it.
Nos, ez probléma lehet, mármint, hogy lehetséges, hogy Rustynak van igaza.
Then we can sit down and put all the puzzle pieces together at a later date.
I'll hold you to that.
Lehetséges, hogy ez a másik csávó húzta csőbe. És mi Rustyra gyanakszunk. Vagy lehet, hogy tényleg nem Rustyra, hanem McCaffrey-re. De viszont lehet, hogy tényleg ő az. Szóval most fogalmam sincs, de majd mindjárt kihallgatjuk őket.
You sure you can make it stick with one of these suspects, gentlemen?
It's either McCaffrey or Tiernan, sir. I think Jameson is an aberration.
All right. I'll deal with that degraded lunatic myself. He's got some fearful retribution coming. Tiernan isn't one, McCaffrey isn't two. I want a confession from one of them. Don't fail me, young fellas.
És megint úgy járunk, mint az előbb, hogy ki akarom hallgatni mind a kettőt, és aztán bizonyítani. Viszont azt nem lehet. Akire rá akarom bizonyítani, azt kell először kihallgatni, ha jól tudom. Vagy nem?
That bum took a swipe at me. Put him down in my sap. One of these days.
Hol a másik kihallgató, az úgy... Na, mind a kettő erre lesz. Ne menj be!
They weren't even his prints, and he still confessed.
Interview room 1.
You look at this clown.
Itt az egyes. Aha.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Szerintem tényleg ezt tette amúgy.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
De vajon kinek vette a piát?
If you don't give me some reason to think differently about this, Tiernan, I'm gonna have to go to the DA.
I drank half a bottle of scotch. I don't remember a goddamn thing.
Hát ez nem lett jó.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Sounds like half an answer to me, Tiernan. Were you sleeping with her?
That's none of your business.
Milyen könyvet találtunk nála?
No, don't go! We both want the truth here.
Said she never saw it.
Hagyj kérdezzem meg ki a másik csávót is. Ha lehet. Kurva nem lehet.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at it once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it.
She wanted something of his.
You don't like McCaffrey, do you, Tiernan?
He's full of the common man routine, but he props up a bar like the rest of us. Evelyn thought he was going to be a great novelist. He had nothing but vitriol for her.
Ez se jó.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
No, we use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Pont ilyenkor, amikor a legjobban meg kéne találni a gyilkost, hogy előléptessenek, ilyenkor nem sikerül. Hiába ezt ott találtuk a McCaffrey-nél. Most, hogyha azt mondom, hogy...
Evelyn was beaten to death with a lug wrench. We found a wrench at McCaffrey's apartment.
You see? It was McCaffrey. He had nothing but hatred for me and Evelyn.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. Big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear.
Na jó, elmehetünk a csávóhoz. Kihallgathatjuk őt is.
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
You'll have to do better than that, Grosvenor. We know about you and Evelyn.
Evelyn was a lush, and a boring one at that. You can't link her to me.
We know that you thought enough of her to loan out your copy of the Metaphysics.
I what? I did no such thing. That bitch stole that book from my apartment. The impudent fucking moron.
And that made you angry?
Angry? I was livid. looking up at me with that stupid face of hers, begging me to forgive her. Aha. Very good. That's one to you, detective.
Ó, ez jó lett. Ez az.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there?
How about half of Augusta Summers' last correspondence with her daughter?
What are you talking about?
After you were done beating Evelyn, you searched her and found her mother's letter. That old lady's anguish amused you.
I know nothing about a letter or Evelyn's goddamn mother.
So what was it doing on your writing desk?
I don't know, but if I didn't put it there, somebody else did. Try exercising your powers of deduction on that.
It's either going to be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor.
Make it stick, detective. The party has good lawyers.
They weren't even his prints, and he still confessed.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, Detective. McCaffrey was formerly under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Thanks.
Door knocking all morning, but I gotta make in the car in the
És megint beszélgessünk ezzel.
You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw, it changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
Megint hazudik.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You have a history of violence towards women.
How do you turn a couple parking tickets and a petty theft misdemeanor into an assault charge?
We know all about you and your dishonorable discharge. Beating some poor woman near to death in Syracuse. You've never been in combat, McCaffrey. Your whole life is a fraud.
She was a goddamn peasant whore! She tried to steal from my wallet. I could have fought for this country. I could have...
You beat her because she stole from you. Because she tried to outsmart you.
The ignorant audacity of the bitch. What is a man supposed to do? Sit there and take it? How is a man supposed to call himself a man?
And Evelyn Summers, a poor, drunken nobody, stole your book.
And she got what was coming to her.
Hát baszki. Nagyon ez a csávó a gyanús.
You're a real asshole. You know that?
Vagy a másiktól is még kérdezgetek, de lehet, hogy a másiktól nem is tudnék kérdezgetni már. Megnézem.
They weren't even his prints, and he still confessed.
You look at this clown.
Mi van már? Hol az egyes?
Straight through the red light. Said she never saw it.
Don't talk to me about Evelyn anymore. It's too...
Hát ezzel meg sem tudom gyanúsítani. Nem. Vagy nem is tudok vele semmit csinálni. Hát mindegy, akkor marad ez.
Grosvenor McCaffrey, I'm charging you with the murder of Evelyn Summers. She was a sad lady who never hurt anyone except herself. I hope God finds a way to forgive you.
Congratulations, boys, you bagged the fine catch. Another red to boot. Grand. Now, I want you to put this business about a repeat offender out of your mind. This McCaffrey creature shows no remorse, and neither will the grand jury. You would have to walk a long mile to find a better candidate for an unmarked plot at a prison graveyard.
Na, ez jó lett végül is. Jó, ezt igazából sikerült megoldani. Kiválóan. Jó.